Okay. All right, user acceptance, and finally you have maintenance, right? Okay, so this is our SDLC. Never forget SDLC. You have to memorize or however whatever techniques that you use. Hopefully you are going through here, right? So that you understand what is that you do, and so forth. Now, as part of the planning activity, do you think you are performing anything from the planning perspective as a QA? No, right? So there is nothing that you can do. You are not doing any activity. So forget about the planning phase. What about the requirement phase? Are you doing any activity?
Yes.
What is the activity? Review requirement, right? So requirement review. And then second one is test plan, that big document creation, right? This is what you do. This is what you create, plus you review the requirement. Okay. How about in the design? Design, you do the similar things, you review plus test plan, right? Okay. Implementation, what is that you do? You write software? You don't, right? Then what is that you do here? Test cases, test scenarios, you document them. So document test case plus scenarios. Okay. Testing. What is that you can do in testing? Execute, right? Okay. UAT. Anything in the UAT? What is it?
It goes to the deployment phase.
No, user acceptance testing. So what is that phase? It doesn't go to the deployment. Who does the testing here? Business users, right? So you provide the testing support. Here, execute bugs, defects. Same thing here, bugs and defects. Because users are not that technical savvy, right? So you might have to help them out. Test support includes creating bugs and support. Basically talking to the developer, make sure they fix it and they send it back and so forth. And maintenance is maintenance. You don't do much other than if some critical bug comes in, they might call you in to see and document and so forth. So SDLC phase is okay. It's very important. Whether you go as a software developer, automation engineer, quality analyst, or anything, make sure you remember what you do as a QA. Now, why are we talking here? So we are talking about the automation, right? Automation. So what can we automate from the quality assurance standpoint in each phase? So now you look at from top to bottom. The planning, obviously, there is nothing for you to do anything. So there is no such planning doesn't even come in the picture. But do you think the requirement reviews and the test plan creation, is that something that you can automate? When you are doing the review, right? What is that you do when you review? When you say I am reviewing something, so I'm actually looking at the document, interpreting the document, and then analyzing it. That's the review and providing them feedback. Can you automate that? You can, right? So this thing you cannot automate. So how about writing the test plan? Again, it's a manual activity. You cannot automate creating a test plan because that's something you have to produce as a output or document wise. So nothing in the requirement phase you can automate your QA activity. Same thing in the design. It's a similar activity you cannot automate. It's a human interpretation of those documents and analysis. So those things you cannot automate. Now going back to implementation phase. So when we say document test cases and scenarios, is there something you can automate? Does anybody say you can automate? You cannot, right? Because that's again analysis and so forth. So these things you cannot automate either. So implementation, nothing you can automate. Okay. What about the testing phase?
Yes.
Okay. So testing phase, you are repeat. So remember the definition, right? Repetitive. So when we talk about the repetitive processes, the execution can be repetitive because if something changes in the software, you might have to execute that same test case over and over again until they fix it properly, right? So this part you can automate, the execution part. Okay. How about creating the bugs and defects? Can you automate that part? Defects management? Maybe if there are tools available, when you are executing the automation test, you can go and create a defect as well. Okay, with the interfaces available with another software. So this can be some portion you can automate defects management, but not everything. Okay. So depending on the tool you are leveraging, you can automate certain things, but not everything. Okay. And finally, the UAT test support. Again, it's a manual task. You have to talk to the developers and communicate what user found and all those things. There is nothing for you to automate because users are doing testing, not you. So there is nothing for you to automate. Okay. So only portion we are seeing here automation wise is execution. Okay. Execute is the only thing that you can automate out of all the activities that you do. And remember, day to day, 8 hours a day, you are working through this process. Probably 1 hour you are spending on the execution. So we are trying to save 1 hour out of your work. And but it could translate into 300 hours or 400 hours a year. Okay, so that's why companies want you to write the automation scripts so that they can use that 300 hours for something else, maybe use on another project or whatever. Okay, so it's a lot of cost savings as well from that standpoint. Okay, any question on this thing? You guys understand where the automation fits in the quality assurance process. Okay, so that's the whole goal of this exercise here. What is it?
Automation is going to be almost everything.
Yeah, see, you cannot replace robot or human with a robot. Okay, not in the automation world. You gotta think through what are the activities you are doing and what you can automate, right? That's why when the people say the manual testing jobs are going away, that's completely false. Okay, if somebody tells you there are no jobs for QA who knows only manual testing, because 90% of the activity you will do is that's the manual testing. So only 10% is automation. Now, why this one? But this guy, if you know automation, you get paid a little bit more. Why is that? Because it requires some programming knowledge to write the automation scripts. Now, the tool like UFT that we will see, it's very few programming things that you have to do. But those tools are not flexible. Meaning flexible, meaning if you have to change something, Once you create a script, then you have to do a lot of things. Okay. Tools like Ruby Cucumber, you can change it in one place. It's more like object-oriented programming. So you change one thing and it will be applicable to everywhere. So very minimal maintenance coding in the Ruby Cucumber, but here UFT has a lot more implication. That's why companies are moving away from UFT to tools like Ruby Cucumber and all the programming side of things. Okay, but if you don't know this part, that's okay. But if you know one or two tools, that's great. That will definitely add to your skills as a QA. All right. Any other question? Okay. So with that, keep that in mind, and now we'll move forward with our UFT side of things. All right, let's see. Okay, so we talked about automation, what automation is, and repetitive redundant tasks. That's where we can apply. Okay. Now, once we understand, okay, we apply on the execution side of things. Now, what is that? Think about what is that you do when you execute a test case, process-wise. Can anybody tell me what is that you exactly do when you are executing test case manually? What's the process looks like? Essentially, you have documented test case, right? So you have steps, you have expected outcome. When you document the test case, right, you have expected outcome, and that's it. And then you press the execute button, and you follow your own steps process-wise. Now, what is that you capture for every step? Actual result, right? So you are comparing actual versus expected. What was expected versus actual, and then decide whether it passes or fails. That's the process that you follow. So automation software testing is the process of execution of tests and the comparison of actual outcomes with the predicted outcome or expected outcome without human intervention. Okay, so you are doing the same process manually. Now tools will try to simulate that process. Okay, so that's what the tool will do for you. Here, the automation's primary job is to simulate a real user. And then come up with the pass or fail result based on that. Okay. Now, how a real user, now how do we go about pass or fail, right? Again, come back to this slide here. So how do we achieve that? How do we achieve this part, right? When we say something is passed or failed. So now we are looking at expected versus actual comparison. What is that makes pass or fail? So let's understand what we do as a user when we are executing. So when we talk about real user interaction with a web page, we visually identify the page. So let's say I'm a super user, I'm logging. My test case is to make sure super user can log in and it's on the right home page, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to log in, go to the home page. Now, how do you make it pass or fail? What would you do as a real user? So you're going to look at the page and try to figure out, is this really a super user homepage or it's a lender homepage? Or it's a somebody else's homepage? Does it make sense? Right? So you have to look for certain elements on the page that belongs to only super user. And what's in our case? What would make it super user homepage? What would you do? I guess if you are executing that test case manually, what would you do in that case? Or what would you verify on the page so that it will pass the step? Test case. I know, but what would you, so if I'm a super user, I have access to everything, right? But what makes it unique for super user? The super user login, that's a login though. I can create 50 super user logins with a different name. But what makes it unique where he logs in on the page or in the Airflow? URL is not, again, it's the same URL, everybody will do that, right? Now what I'm trying to say is, let me go back here. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to log in here. It will take a minute or 30 seconds, I guess. Okay, so now test training. If I'm following my old step, right? Okay, I'm logged in successfully. Let's see if it logs in.
It is not displaying on screen.
Okay. Okay. All right. So test training. Okay, tell me what makes it's a super user homepage here. What is unique about super user? User management, is it unique for super user? Okay, so you got to think through that perspective because user management can be done by the Alfred user or dealer or somebody who has access to that module. They will see the same thing. So you need to figure out what is unique about the super user, and then you can validate that information shows up here or not. Okay, so here I can say, okay, admin homepage is showing up because when I log in as a dealer, what is unique about dealer, right? So I have calculator that is unique about dealer and combination of dealer homepage, right? That is unique about dealer as well. So those are some of the things that you need to think through. Now this is you are doing manually, okay? So you have to tell the software to perform the exactly same thing when you do automate the test case. Okay. Does it make sense, everybody? Okay. All right, so let's come back here to our definition. I want to make sure you understand what you should, when you start using the tool, how you can apply the tool here. Okay.
Is it recording?
Yes, should be recorded. Next slide. Okay, it is on. Good. Yep, it is recording. I'm double checking. Good. Okay. So you visually identify the page you want to interact with, right? How the real user does it. So that's the first part you will do. Now, second part, user will also perform some activity, like you are doing the data entry or you are doing maybe clicking on the button because you have to get to that page. Let's say you are doing the loan calculator one. You log in, you might have to get to the loan calculator page. So you have to perform the activity from that standpoint. Maybe clicking on the calculator button, right? So you have to perform some action as part of the page. And most of the time, they click on the chart, but sometimes you also enter text. So if you are creating a brand new dealer, You have to fill out the information. That's the enter inputting the data or inputting the information. The good thing about that, 99% of the time, you either will do click or typing, basically. So those two activities you will do as a user, okay? 99% of the time. Now, when we talk about the software, right? How the software works, exactly same way. Okay, they will simulate a real user. You have to first identify visual element of the page that you want to interact with. Let's understand that part. What I'm saying is, automation tool would first identify a part of specific page to interact with, and then followed by performing some action on the part. It's easy when you are doing manually, right? Because you know this text box, I need to input loan calculator, let's assume loan calculator. So I need to go to the loan calculator page and then input $1,000. And then I'm going to click on it, calculate button, and it is supposed to give me $30, right? That's easy. But when we talk about the tool needs to do the same thing, needs to find the text box which says enter monthly loan amount. So somehow you have to tell the tool to say, go find this text box. So how do you do that? So that's where your HTML knowledge comes in the picture. Okay. This is where you will have a control call input. Hopefully you guys spend some time on the W3 schools. Okay, because that skill is very important as well. Okay, that's the reason we gave you some HTML overview as well. What that HTML is supposed to look like. And then you find the ID of this control and put it in the tool. For the ID for the calculate button, and then it can interact. Okay. Let me see what I'm talking about. So now I'm going to log in as a G training. Okay, now I'm going to do calculator. So tool doesn't know what this field is, right? So this is where the HTML skills come in the picture. Now, good thing about how can you find what are the elements and properties of this control? So good thing in the browser, any browser, you have a thing called inspect. Okay, it's an inspector. It knows everything about over there. Okay, so you right click on that control, say inspect, and it will show you HTML form for that control. All right, I'm going to go back here. So this is the HTML. It will highlight that HTML for that control. It's an input, right? It has a name called something, some weird name. Type is equal text. So it's a text box, right? So type equals text, input type text. Max length is 12. Then there is ID as well, which is some unique ID. Generally, the IDs and names are unique on the page for the control. Okay. And then class is input text box. So these are all the properties associated with this particular text box. This text box here. Okay. This is a different field. This is a label. It's called label on the page or text. These are again labels or text on the page. Now, if I do the same thing with the calculate button, let me go do calculate inspect, and I'll see different ID for the calculate button, and then some JavaScript, href. It's a link. Okay, this is not a button. How can you tell? It's an anchor element /a. Okay, it's not a link. on the page. Okay, but that's how you can tell what control and IDs are important in the automation world, because that's what you're going to use to interact with the tool, can interact with the actual page using the IDs importantly. Okay, so I'm just showing you, and then when we talk about the actual tool, I'll show you what it will do. Okay. But we are talking about simulating, right? So that's how we can simulate this slide shows up. Okay. So that's how the tool will simulate real user. Okay, based on this ID and elements and other things, and it will go find that and perform some action, whether it's input or reading the value or writing the value to the control or clicking on a button and so forth. Okay. Now, the tool works a couple of different ways. Okay, the tool like UFT can record the script for you. So it will automatically go and find the IDs and everything on the page, and then it will record and store it in the repository in the tool. Then all you have to do is playback the script in order to execute the same test over and over again. Okay, so it's a record and playback type of tool. UFT is one of the tools for that. Now Ruby Cucumber works completely differently. Okay, there is no record and playback in Ruby Cucumber. It's all programmatic. But ultimate goal is to compare the expected versus actual, and then report the result to the test engineer or automation engineer. So we'll provide you a nice report for that. Okay. And there are several different tools in the market. And these are kind of like popular tools available in the market. Now, first two ones, right? Open source. The important word is free. Important word, right? These are free tools. So Selenium and Water, those are free. You don't pay any money to use it. And that's why I think companies are moving towards those free tools. Everything else costs you a bunch of money. So UFT costs probably $100,000 for a team of 2 developers or $3 for licenses. Okay, that's what the UFT costs a bunch of money. That's why companies don't want to spend. If something is free, take it and have developers train or QA people train in those technologies and let them work through. Okay. So, but these are very popular ones. These are the main one right now. VSTP coded UI test. This is from Microsoft. Again, that is some state agencies are using Microsoft coded UI test. UFT is from used to be from HP. Micro Focus bought the whole product portfolio, so it is now Micro Focus is the company that owns the UFT now. Okay. Smartware also has a test complete tool, which works as a record and play type of tool. It's a record and play. Works very similar to the UFT. Okay, this Smartware test complete works very similar here. Another popular tool but expensive one is Tosca. That is from Tricentis company, and it's a codeless automation tool. You don't write any code. You wouldn't even see any code. It's a very nice tool, but it's very expensive. I think the Nationwide is the only one I have seen using in Columbus area. Okay, they are very big on Tosca, Nationwide. And finally, there is another open source APM, but it's mainly used for mobile iOS testing. Okay. These two tools are used for web application testing only, Selenium and Water. Now, anything that you are writing new application wise, 80% of them is web application development. Okay, so that's why companies say, okay, it's free, and we need to automate the web application test, we will just use this. UFT Smartware, they work on the thick Windows application as well as web application, and does some mobile application testing. So you can automate those three with that. Again, APM is popular for iOS, Android, mobile apps, and so forth. Now, as you can see, there is a variety available in the market. But once you pick up the concept, you can know it's the same way. All the tool works. Whether it's a Ruby Cucumber or UFT or Smartware, you have to understand the HTML, understand how the tool interacts with the browser, and it's the same techniques. All the tools will use. Okay, it's just different tools, just like a UFT, Azure DevOps, and Jira. That does the same thing, but they are just from different companies. Any question on this one? All right, let's move on. So now talk about the actual automation of the test cases, right? So what is a good candidate for automation? Again, we are talking about execution part, right? We have, let's say, 1,000 test cases you guys wrote on our flow. Now, can I automate everything? It's not feasible, okay? Again, there are manual test cases you will have to do, and then you will create the automation test cases on top of it. Now, what are the things that you can automate? So think about what is the repetitive things that you will be doing. Those are the better candidate for the automation. So regression testing is the one, that's where you will leverage the automation most. Now, out of 500 or 1,000 test cases, you will probably automate maybe 100 or 200, not more than that. Okay, so that's something you work with the lead and pick out what are the most value for the time and so forth. So 100 or 200, those are the test cases you can automate, which can become part of your regression test. So if something changes in the software, you still have to verify manually certain things, but then you execute those 100 or 200 test case just to see if anything broke in any other module. Okay, so that's typically part of the regression testing. Okay. Any question on this one? Now here you will see the stress and load testing. So in order to simulate 500 users, right? You can't ask 500 people to log in at the same time just to see if the system will break or not. So for that, there are specialized tools, as I said, available in the market. JMeter, load runner, wind runner type of tool, which you can write the automation scripts, which can simulate 500 users load on the system. Again, that's kind of like out of scope for you guys because it's a specialized skill set, stress and load testing. So we probably wouldn't touch it. But UFT is not good for that. It's a functional testing tool, UFT, functional and regression testing tool, not the stress and load testing tool. Okay. I'm going to skip this slide because it says how do you acquire the tool in the company and so forth. So we'll skip it. Okay, so now we will dive into the tools, understand the functionality and see how it works. Okay. Hopefully you got the idea on the automation tool, what it is and how it works in general. Now we'll see specifically about UFT. And you guys have all the slides. It's just that you have certain slides in the back, certain in the front, but you have all the slides that I showed you here. Okay. Now, as I said, the UFT is a tool from Micro Focus, used to be SP. And it's used to automate the functional and regression testing, basic regression test. And both technical and non-technical users can learn it. But again, it needs some training on the UFT tools. Okay, so non-technical users, I don't agree with that, because you need to be a little bit technical in order to understand how a tool works. Okay. Okay, can you guys hear me okay? Shutting it down. All right, give me a second here. Okay, online, can you folks hear me okay? Can you just say yes, no?
Yes.
Okay, did you guys lose connection? Was my voice cutting off earlier? Okay. So I'm assuming it was all good. All right. Now the version that you guys are learning is a little bit older version, but again, functionality they haven't changed much in the latest version and so forth. Okay, conceptually it is the same tool, the UFT. But what we have you guys installed is version 12 of UFT. That's the one. Now, as far as the features wise, it does require some. It does use some scripting language called VB script, Visual Basic Scripting. It's very easy to learn syntax wise as well as programming wise. But you don't need to code anything manually. Tool will take care of certain things. But it's good to know the scripting so that you can change certain things. You need to understand what the tool will produce script wise, so that if you have to modify your script or look at it, you can at least understand what it is and how it works. Okay. Now, as I said, I mean, the tool supports multiple web-based application, Windows-based applications, some ERP solutions, and so forth. So that's the reason it was very popular back in 2000s and early till like 2015, 2017. After that, shift has happened to Ruby Cucumber type of tools and other things. Okay. There are some limitation of the tools, what it cannot do, what software it cannot work with. Now, as you see on the left side, these are very old software back in 80s and 90s. Okay, these are popular. Obviously, no tool will work with all the software. So this tool has some limitation, what it cannot do with that. Okay. All right. Okay. So now, before we dive into the actually how tool works, let me work through simple one for now. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to actually dive into a tool now, and that's where I'll let. So the way it will work, I'll show you some functionality. You guys will do a simple thing, then we'll build on that. I'll show you another one. You guys will do one more, and then I'll show you one more, and you guys will do one more. Okay, so hopefully that will give you enough time to practice and follow as well what I'm trying to do here. So for now, just pay attention here. You don't need to touch any computer or anything else. Okay, so you all have UFT installed. And once you type in UFT, you will see the UFT icon. This is where how you can access your tool. So I'm going to go there. All right, so obviously it's a trial version. Okay. It has a 30-day license. We all have it. So we all have left 28 days if you install on Thursday, which is good enough for practicing anyway. So click on continue. We don't have license, so we just click on continue and it will take care of it. Second thing, it will pop up this type of dialog box, which says Addin Manager. So if you are dealing with the Visual Basic type of application or ActiveX controls or something, then you check those. But here we are not talking about Visual Basic or older applications and so forth. We will do testing for the web application here, because our Flown is a web application, right? It works on the web of the internet. So this is what by default it will show mobile and web. So we're not going to change anything. And if you don't want to see this dialog box every time you open, you just click on show on startup, uncheck it, and it will be hidden next time. It will not show up when you open the tool next time. So I'll just go and click OK. All right, so now you are in the tool, and it should look very familiar like a SOAP UI or any other modern tool that you're going to use in future as well. Okay. So there are a couple of things I wanted to point out. There are some important menu items at the top that we will go through. Obviously, first of all, you will need a file is an important one where you can do save activity. But let me see how you can create a new test, automation test. Okay. So new test, file new test. This is what we will be using for creating the automation script or automating our test case. Okay. So this is what we can use. Now, when I say new test, it's going to pop up another dialog box. Now, remember the web service testing, which is nothing but API testing. So this tool, you can write the API test as well, just like SOAP UI. You can do the API test. If I do API test, it will create a web service test or something like that. It will ask you for URL later on and so forth. Business process test and business process flow, we're not going to use that. We never use it in practically. GUI test is the main test that is for your automating your test cases. That's what we will use. So I'm going to leave GUI test here, and I'm going to give simple what is your test about. So I'll say login test. So I'm just going to keep it simple for now. Okay. So I'm just going to keep first one is my first hello world type of test. So I'm just going to go create. Now you don't have to provide the name. Okay. If you don't provide the name, it will automatically give some name anyway. Now location and things where it's going to store, you can change it, but I would leave it default unless you know what you are doing and so forth. Finally, there is a solution name. So what is a solution? So if I look at it, so in the SOAP UI, right? Let's talk about SOAP UI. You have one solution, and then you have multiple projects, right? For web service test, multiple tests, test 1, test 2, so forth. So these were separate projects, part of one solution. Okay, same thing here in the UFT. You will have a thing called solution, and you can add as many tests as you want. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. You can create maybe, so let's say you are automating login with the 3 different scenarios. So you probably want to create one solution that has all 3 tests for the login. So you can group them together. That's the concept here. So you can create it. If I don't give a name, it will automatically pick the name from the my first test. But you can always change here. I'll just say login or something. You don't have to. Okay, I'll just leave it default for now. And then click create. So it's a simple process. Okay. So now here on the left side, I'm going to see, I don't think it's visible clearly, probably, hopefully. You have login test, then you have action. So same thing, what is shown here, it shows in the hierarchical manner. Okay. Action is, this is where your test steps will be. Okay. So let's work through one more thing here. So I'm doing my login, super user login. Test case. Okay, so this is my test case. I will have steps. I will have expected, and then actual. This is my manual test case. Okay, I'm talking about manual. So step number 1, if you are writing manually, how would you write it? Go to URL, and you have test data URL, right? Expected is I am on home page, Rflow on home page. Okay. Second one, enter credentials, super user credential. Okay. And login. Well, let's just keep it simple, enter super user credential, right? Or you can be as specific as enter username. Let me just put a separate steps. Enter username. I'm able to enter username. Third would be enter password. Password successfully entered. Fourth step, click on login. And now what? I'm logged in. Logged in and on super user homepage. Okay. So these are your manual steps. Your tool needs to follow the same steps, right? Because this is your manual test case. You are trying to automate them. Simple one. So action is that's where all your steps will be. Okay, in the action. So what I can do is you can just simply double click it. Right now, everything is empty. There is no steps that you have available. Now in the tool, go to the first tab that you have. Go to URL, which is Azure or rflow.azurewebsite.net. Now in the tool, that tab you can configure. Okay, so there is no, because tool needs to know what is your base site, which site you are working with. So for that, you can go to the record, okay, and record and run settings. This is where you specify your URL, record and run setting. Okay, so that's where I will go, record and run setting. And here, since I have previously set up So it's already shows, but otherwise for you guys, it will be a black. Okay, it will not, you might have some other button to click and it will be black. So I'm going to click on this, open the following address when a record or run session begins. And this is where you will specify Airflow Azure websites.net. This is will be my first step. This is how I can say what site. Now this one is whatever, if you have multiple browsers installed, it will show up here. I'm going to leave default Internet Explorer because I know it works on my machine for that. Okay. Somehow Chrome doesn't work on my machine. So you have to play around which browser you can work with your testing tool. So leave it default, open Internet Explorer. By the way, we are in the web record and run setting. Okay. Now there is a mobile, there is a Windows. We're not going to care about those. We are not dealing with mobile or web test, only simply web application testing. Okay. So now moving on, bottom two. These are by default checked. What it says is do not record and run on browsers that are already open. So what it means is, let's say I have an Internet Explorer open and I am doing something, your recording will not work. Okay. You have to have browser windows closed before you can even record and so forth. Okay. So that's what it does. And you should do that. You should leave it default because it will, otherwise your test will not be recorded properly. Okay, finally close the browser when the test closes. So once we are done recording, it will automatically close the browser window from there. Okay. So website URL, that's the only part you enter really on this record run setting. Okay. I'm going to click apply, click OK. Right. So now I have my first step configured. Go to URL. So now how do I actually record? Because this is a record and playback type of tool. Okay, so you will record a successful test and then you can play back over and over. If your test fails, that means something wrong with the software. Something has changed in the software. That's what it is. So you go back to the record again and click on record. It will start recording for you whatever you are doing manually. Okay. Or you can use this button here, record. So let me go and click on this button here, record button. See what it does. So it tried to execute my first step now. So now at least I am on the home page, basically here. Okay, that's what it did for us. Now, if I go back to my test case here, I'm going to follow my steps, manual test. That's what you're recording so that you can execute over and over again in the future. So enter username. So here I'm going to enter as training, right? Third one was enter password and the fourth one is click on login. Okay. At this point, I'm there. I'm not going to worry about the verification or anything. So let me just close out for now. Okay. This is a very basic, simple test that I'm doing. So I just closed out browser window and I have to stop this recording. Okay. This is a UFT. Let me go back here so that you know what the UFT looks like. This is a UFT boot tool. You have to stop the recording, so it will stop it. Okay. Now let's see what it did. So now the scripts, VB script, this is all VB script. It is being added or captured in our test as part of our steps. We previously did not have anything. Tool automatically captured actions that you are doing on the browser and it created something for us. So let's see what it did, because this is something you need to understand what these things are and how tool works. Okay. So first step. Hopefully you guys will recognize this thing. What it is? Anybody remember? What is this?
The username.
It's a username, right? And how where can you find it? So you go back to the page here. Okay. And use txt username, that's the control is trying to find, right? First step. So now I'm going to go inspect. And I'll see txt username. So it is using either name or ID. Okay, both are generally unique on the page. So here it's a dollar symbol with that. ID is with the underscore. Okay, so if I go to the tool, it's with the dollar symbol. So it's using the name of the control to find the control on the page. So you have a browser window, right? So the way it is you have a browser, you have your URL, you have your text box, something like that. So this is home page, right? This is home page. And before that, there is a browser, right? So it's a hierarchy. So you have a browser here. Then you have page. Page name is home page. And then you have control within that. Okay. So that's the hierarchy. That's how it finds it. On this browser, this page, this is a control. And I'm trying to set the value here called training. When you say dot set, right? So it will set the value. Once it gets handled on this control, where this control is we are typing in, right? Training or S training. How the tool will do? It will use the operation called set on this control to set the value called S training. Okay. So set and set secure are two operations, distinct operation you can do. You can also do dot click because this is something you can do click wise. Remember, 99% of the time, either you set the value or read the value or do click on it, right? That's all you are doing. So set is important operation for you to know. Now set secure. Why it says use set secure here? Because it's a password. Okay. So, and then you see the password we typed in training, but it automatically stored it in a secured manner. Think about it. You are storing the script and you are storing the password along with it. So anybody who has access to the script, they can see the password. That's the reason tool will do like that. But again, script, you can always change it. If you want to store it plain, I can just change it to set. And then I can supply the password called training in my script. I can change my scripts afterwards. Okay. So our second step was set the password. So that's what we are doing here. Okay, so I'm setting the password training. I got rid of the set secure. It's gone. Third step, clicking on login, right? And it identifies as a link. Why it was a link? Why it's not a button? Anybody, any idea? HTML tag is an anchor tag. Okay, it's an anchor //a. For links, it is link. So if you go to W3 schools, that's why this site is important, right? And you find the HTML links and see what tag it uses. It uses /a, href URL, some text, and /a. That's exactly what our that's exactly this tag is. Link anchor ID and then URL and then closing tag. Okay, so it is not a button, it's a link on the page. That's the reason. Okay. So these are our 3 steps. Let's come back here to our menu. So enter password, password enter, click on login, logged on user. So we stopped at logged on user. We did not say how do we verify yet. Okay, because we need to say this, I am on the super user homepage only, not anybody else's homepage. I want to keep it simple, so we'll come back to that part later on. Okay, so let's come back to the script. Now sync, there are two additional things. Now close all tabs, right? So I close the browser window at the end. So it put this close all tabs here. Now sync is very important. It automatically put that in for us. So what it does, it waits for the response because it takes some time when you click on it and show a different page. So sync will do, what sync will do is it will wait for a few seconds, then go to the, so it's a kind of like a wait time it added over here until the page shows up properly. Okay, that's all it is. You don't have to do anything here. It's automatically captured. You can leave it there. Now, every time you record a script, you make sure you get rid of any other junk steps. Let me show you what the junk step means. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I've got rid of all the steps, wiped out. Now I'm going to record again. Now you see this shows up every time recording. Yep, which we'll talk about a little bit later. So let's say I did test training. See here that this shows there are 2 steps captured. Okay, this number will go up. Okay, now let's say I click somewhere else or did something like this. Okay, and then I clicked on login. And then I'm going to close the browser window, stop recording. Well, this time it didn't capture. And I'm going to try one more. Record. Test training. I have 2 steps here. See if I can do something else. On this page, actually, I cannot do much. Oops. Test training. Okay, I click somewhere else. So now you see the 7 steps here. Okay, instead of 2, now I have 9 steps. So I'm going to stop it. Now you have to understand your steps. Okay, what is captured. And if you don't want to record it, you have to fix your script. So you go back to your manual step 1, 2, 3, 4. I know this one is set up URL wise, so I don't worry about that, but I need to have only 3 steps in my test case. The way I can do is I can see, okay, first one is set training, set this is password and this is image service. Okay, this is wrong. I don't have any image service here. I shouldn't have it. I shouldn't have this clicks in the middle. Okay, so that's gone. Again, then I was on the home page, so I gotta get rid of this tab as well. So I'm going to get it up to here. Okay. Now I'm back to the login click. Okay, so 1, 2, and 3, which is good. And then I'll set, if you want to, you can set it to set secure and supply text password. Okay, so now my steps looks correct. Okay. Now I can run it and see if I can execute. Now I'm executing automation script. Okay. So what I just did is, how do you execute? Once your script is good, if you are going to run 50 times, all you have to do is click on this button, run. Okay. And it will run your script and show you the nice result window, whether it's passed or failed or whatever. Okay. So this is a result window, result viewer, and it shows you whether your script passed or failed, and also what step is executed and why it failed if it failed. So here you can see it on the left side. I have control and I have set value of as training. Password, I was setting the value of training. I did the login click and it was good. Then a page sync was executed and then finally close all tabs. So it will show you If something fails, that's when you worry. Okay. But everything is good, then you move on to the next script, and so forth. Now here there is nothing that says passed or failed. Why is that? Because we haven't told the tool what to look for when it says pass or fail. We only executed the steps. We have to tell the tool specifically what makes it pass or fail, this test case, which we will talk shortly. Okay, how do we tell the tool to work through, look for those things? Okay, any question on this one? What I just showed you guys. It's a very basic test case, right? It's a 4 steps, nothing fancy, and so forth. All right, so if you don't have a question, then I'll let you guys execute the same test case, get familiar with the tool, and see if you can end up at this point, result viewer. Okay. So you all have UFT installed? You know how to start it up, right? UFT, and start working through. And if you have any question, let me know. Online folks, you guys know, right, what to do? And this is the test case you guys will automate, right? Same test case. So I'm going to leave it here on the board. Now these are tools, right? So make sure you get familiar with where things are in the tool and how you can create a test, how you can configure the first step under record and run, and then execute a test case. So I capture the test and execute.
Do I click on create directory for solution?
No, leave that default. It will automatically have some directory for you. It will automatically create something for you. Okay, go back to record and run setting under record. You have to stop recording first. No, yeah, stop it. Yep. Yeah, now go back to the record and run setting. Yep. Record and run settings.
Is it F6?
No. All the way, last one. Record and run settings. Yep. Okay, Chrome, instead of Chrome, just use the IE, Internet Explorer. First one. Now do the, now try to record it. Just say don't use recommended setting. Okay, click OK.
So it has captured these steps now.
Yeah, that's fine. You just type in username, password here, and try. I'm just trying to see. You can wipe out afterwards and re-record. Okay.
Mhm.
Yep, I can see your steps are being captured now. So I think Internet Explorer will work. Make sure you guys use that for record run.
Okay.
And yep, close out the browser window and yep, stop recording. All right.
So I'm
So-
I'm confused with like when to start recording and when to stop.
So you think about you are trying to follow your manual test case. Okay.
I'm sorry.
You are following your manual test case,
Okay.
recording it so that you can execute over and over in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's what you are doing. So you have to have written down manual test case in order to automate it,
Yes.
right? So here I'm recording here where I go to URL, right?
Mhm.
That's I already configured. So I don't need to. So step one, going to URL will always be there. So you start with step two. Once you are on the page, you have
Okay.
to type it.
So once we set the URL, after that, we are going to record the steps.
That is correct. That's exactly what it is. Yep. You need to be on the page. Yep. And when you set up that URL in the record run setting, it will take care of step number one.
Mhm.
Now, second step onwards, you have to record all the steps.
Okay. So if I have to do it, I want to try one more time, like from the scratch.
Yep.
So how can
So
I do
you-
this now again?
Just wipe out, just delete out all the steps that are captured in the
Okay.
script. And,
Even the URL.
no, your URL will stay there, right? It doesn't change URL. So that part you can leave it there, record run setting part, but all the steps that are captured in the script, you can remove it. Just delete it
Okay.
and then record again.
Okay.
Start with
And
the step.
when we're going to use the run button, like
When you are done with the step number 4, right? That's
okay.
where you will say stop recording.
Mhm.
Close the browser window. Make sure you close the browser window and then say stop recording.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, give it a try. I think
Okay.
once you do, I think you should be all right.
Okay. Thank you.
Why do we put the steps in the action?
No, you can't put it. You have to record it, right? Because here you are trying to capture the script.
Okay.
So once you have this URL set up, right? You set it up in the record run settings. Did you set up the URL? So your record and run settings should look something like this.
Yeah.
You already have it?
Yeah.
Okay, so that means your step 1 is done. Now step 2, if you
So
don't,
just click OK on that.
yeah, you have to click OK, right? Come back to the script. Yep. And then do recording. So it's a record and play. So you can do recording from here.
So where is it capturing it from?
The tool will do that for you. Once you follow, so think about you are executing this manual test case, right? It's about the execution of test case. So if you are doing manually, test execution, that's what you are doing manually here.
So
You-
I'm confused with the steps, like where is it capturing from?
No, this is something you have wrote down in the test case or Azure DevOps or whatever tool you have, right? But here I'm giving you this test case, written down test case, so you can record and playback afterwards, execute. Playback is nothing but execution. Where are you confused, I guess?
The steps you have written there.
Yeah,
So like, should I write it down somewhere? Like,
No.
where is it?
no, I already gave you everybody same steps. So everybody is working through the same test case here. So now think about you are executing manually this test case. How would you do it? So you're gonna open a browser,
Mhm.
right? Then you're gonna go and you enter username, enter password, click on login. That's what you will do, right? Execution.
Yeah.
Same thing, you are doing that within a tool context. So the tool can record all the steps for you.
Okay, so what's the next step? I did the record and
No, that's the first step, right? That's the first step only. Now you have to actually execute these steps, step number 2 to 4. So how you gonna do it? You have to go click on record first,
okay.
and then it will open up a browser window, then you're gonna follow the steps here.
It's not showing the Microsoft Edge as.
No, not Edge, don't use Edge.
It is not taking Internet Explorer.
You have
It's
it.
giving some unexpected error,
What is it?
some unexpected error.
You can't even download.
Click OK. Let me see what it is. You might have to reboot your machine. Something. Yeah, what I would suggest is close it from here. And now start that up. Yeah, unfortunately, the tools are require certain settings on the computer. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm seeing the dialogue in my action.
Okay. But still in the dialog in your action.
They didn't have that in here.
So you go to the new task, right? You were there. You create a new task.
Yeah. I already played it, this one.
So you recorded and then you are playing. Okay.
After browser,
Uh-huh.
page, I have the dialogue Internet Explorer.
Dialog. I'm not sure what you're saying. Yeah, that's what you need to look at the script and wipe out any unwanted steps.
I don't know.
Yeah, you just don't need the first step.
Is it the?
All you can do is if you click on somewhere else, it's gonna capture it as well. So you can wipe out everything and re-record. Record again. Same step.
It's again giving me the. Just open up like this.
Yes, seems like something is not installed correctly. I can get you another laptop, okay? Which I think should work. You might have to uninstall and reinstall.
Uninstall what you're doing.
UFT, yep, and reinstall. Yep, use this one.
Harshal, after running the test, after running the script, so there is a message because the Microsoft script debugger is not installed on this computer, you cannot run test in slow mode. So does it
Yeah,
make
that's
any?
fine, that's fine. Let's click OK.
Okay.
Just you won't be able to put breakpoints and see it. That's all.
Okay.
I think none of us has it. So, yep.
Asha,
So-
the action one, what do I
Yep.
do? After action one, do I enter the test case or click on?
No, so the test case I gave you guys here, right? So
Yeah,
this is automating this test case.
Okay.
Execution, right? It's the execution part. That's all we. So in order to execute it, you have to record as part of the script.
Okay.
So you come here, once you have the code run setting, right? Set up,
Yeah.
click on this record.
Yeah.
Then your step number 2 is enter username.
Mm-hmm.
Please enter password, whatever the password is here.
Mm-hmm. It's a offline training cloud.
Rflown.azurewebsites.net.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had to click on open the following address. Is it?
No, that step is already configured in the tool.
Mm-hmm.
When you actually show me your screen here. Can you share it? Share your screen. Let me
Okay.
see.
Yeah. Sure. Sure.
That might help me.
Mm.
Okay, give me a second though. Okay.
Okay.
Right. Yes, so this is the first step because in the tool, you can't say open browser and go to the browser. And then
Okay.
you are. This one will take care of step number 1, this configuration here.
Okay.
You have everything. I think the URL is wrong though. It should be URL rflown.azurewebsites.net. So let me send you that URL
Mm-hmm.
and paste that URL.
So here, what do I do?
Wait, you don't have correct URL first of all.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure I just text, put it in the chat window. Copy
Okay.
the URL from there and put it there.
Mm-hmm.
Did you copy?
Which one to copy?
I put it in the chat window.
Oh, sorry. Oh, I could get it down. Copy.
How is everybody else doing online? Everybody has this test case automated? This
Yeah.
particular one? Okay.
Harshal, can you help me? When I run the test, I think it's doing more than multiple times.
Multiple times?
Yeah, it's running.
Okay.
I'm not sure if it's doing right or wrong.
So share your screen and let me see what it's doing. Okay, so I think it sounds good. Yep. Close this window. Yep. Close the result viewer.
Mm-hmm.
Now run it.
So, okay.
Yeah, it ran fine, looks like.
But it doesn't allow me to see the website window.
Yeah, so, okay, so I'll show you a trick here, because I think you guys, there are a couple of things when you are doing the test, okay? So stop your screen.
Okay.
Stop your screen. So I think some of you, so the way tool works, right? First of all, before you run the test or record anything, right? Make sure there are certain settings for the Internet Explorer are correct. Okay, so I'm just going to open Internet Explorer. Okay.
Ashil, can you open the presentation mode?
Oh, sorry. Let me go back. Okay, so I just opened my Internet Explorer here. Yeah, I just want to make sure that all the settings are correct. Okay. First of all, what you need to do is make sure your browser window is 100%. It covers the whole screen. So make sure you maximize it. Okay. Because that whatever you do here, if you have it like this, your test will be recorded like this. So you won't be able to see anything on your test when it executes, first of all. It will exactly open the window like this and run it. So first of all, you want to maximize it by clicking on this button. And second thing, your setting has to be 100% zoom level. Okay, your browser setting has to be 100% on the zoom level. If you don't have it, it's not going to record your test correctly. So why it's important? Because it needs to recognize this field. And if you don't have this setting level set to 100%, might type it in this field instead of the other one. So there are some issues we have seen in the past with the browser. So make sure zoom is 100% selected and window is maximized. Okay, before you record or do anything with the browser. Then you can simply close out browser windows. Okay, now I can go and record it here. So it will open in a full mode with the same zoom level. And now I can do as training, login, close out browser window and stop my recording. So it is recorded perfectly fine with the same setting and no issues, looks like this time. And when you play it, when you run it, play meaning running, it will run in the same mode as you can see what it's doing and what it's typing and all those things. Yep, and it will show you second window, result viewer for the second web. Okay. So if your test did not record correctly, go ahead and wipe out all the steps and record again. Okay. Make sure you do that in 100% mode and then maximize window. And I'm gonna get you guys another 5 minutes, okay, on this one. Then we'll move on. I'll show you more tricks because there's a lot more to cover as well. But hopefully you have the basic thing working.
Harshal, so how do you clear if I want to go back to start again?
Yeah, just to delete out. That's it. That's your test is gone.
Okay.
Now you can start recording again, and once you record, you can play back.
Okay. Yeah.
That's simple as that. Yeah.
Actually, it still, like when I run the test, it runs all the steps, but it doesn't open the Internet Explorer for me. I'm not able to see the Internet Explorer window while executing this script.
Yeah, so in the real life too, Dimple, right? This test gets executed very quick.
Okay.
Okay, within second or two. And
Mhm.
generally, you'll be running 1,000 tests on a different server. So you will
Mhm.
not have access to this test. Here, when you are creating it, that's the only time you can see. Otherwise, in the real life, you will not even see it. You will just get the result back in the email or something like that.
So where is the result now? Like how?
So the result shows up in the result window, right? So here, once you run it,
Like when you are running, it's opening everything for you.
no, this is the result window. This is
Okay.
what you should see, result window. Are you able to see this? Does it open for you?
Let me see.
Yeah, it should be there.
So I don't have this action one result summary.
Okay, Dimple, go ahead and share your screen. Let me see what it is. And execute it, okay? Let me see what happened. Yeah, you have it. You have a result viewer.
But I don't have those.
No, you have to expand it. On the left side, those things are twisted. You expand collapse. So click on those icons on the left side. Go to the second step, iteration 1, and twisty. You see the triangle on the left side for that thing. Click on it. Okay. Now click on the again triangle. You have to expand everything. So you had some error in the browser, but go to the action summary. That's where you will see. That's where you will see the home page.
Harshal,
Yeah,
where can we see the result?
the result viewer window.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to expand everything here. So let me show you guys where I think you all have result viewer. You just don't know how to access it here. So you have to keep on expanding the Dimple until you find your page. Yep, that's a logout click. That's a login. Those are steps over there.
But where is that window with the circle, pass and fail?
Okay, so go to the view. Go to the view and say result details. Yep. And now you go to the action summary and it will show you. Go to the action summary on the left side. Just click on it. Yep. It says PassFail here. There are a bunch of windows, so play around with this result viewer as well. There are a
Okay.
few hidden as well, so you can. Those are windows hidden. Looks like you probably closed out by mistake.
And what's this error, Harshal? Description. In the description, it's red.
Yeah, it's through some error. So I'm not sure what you have in the step. So go back to your steps. Test training, login, click, and log out. Can you close your window, that browser, that result viewer? Let's run the test again. Just close it out. Don't leave it open.
Okay.
Otherwise, you will get confused with what the test is. Now run the test again.
And in the steps that you did, so there was one synchronization step.
Yeah, it will automatically capture for me. For you, it's not needed on your computer, so it did
Okay.
not. But if you want to add, you can manually add that. See, again, your browser window is not maximized, Dimple. So I would suggest.
I did that before writing the steps.
Somehow it's not saving, but let's see, expand your test results again. Go and expand your test results on the left side. Expand it all the way down. Yep. Yep. So for you, it seems like it's capturing the results, but it's somehow giving you some warning or something. Something to do with the browser startup. which I think because you did not have all the expanded settings. Can you open just a IE? And can you show me your settings, zoom level? Zoom is 100. Okay, so now you close this IE window. Okay, close this window. Make sure you close out all the windows that you don't need. Okay, and what I would suggest is record the script again now.
Okay.
Delete everything and record it. See how the I window opens. I want to see. Now it's fully expanded.
No, it's expanded, then it again goes to the minimize.
So make
Can
sure
you
you.
So this
So
is
that-
happening.
Yeah, so there's some issue with your machine, something. But as long as it's giving you the result, I think I would worry about it at this
Okay.
point.
Harshal, can I show my screen? I have something different. I don't know what's that.
Go ahead, share your screen.
Yeah, just one moment.
Oh, you was,
I don't know why I got this. When I run the test,
Yep.
did I do something wrong here?
Now, can you expand your results all the way on the left side? Yeah, left side. Can you expand the login test iteration one row all the way? Way down. This X, you see the X? You see the X?
Here?
Way-
Oh, here? This one?
Yeah, yep. Click on expanding. Yep, do that, click on expanding. Yep, expanding. Please expand all the way. Okay. All right, see the control. Probably click on the description. Yep, it will tell you what the error or why you got the fail. So object physical description did not match. Okay. And
Yeah.
can you click on run error as well on the left side? You gotta stay on the left side. Cannot identify the object. Okay. So go back to your script now.
How I should go back from this?
You have UFT open, right? Go back to your UFT.
This one, I don't know why it's only 3 steps showing. I think from the first step, I think I did something wrong. I have doubt.
Yeah,
But
so
I don't know how to go back and start again.
you close out your UFT window.
So this one here, from here?
No, we can't see your screen, Vaibhav. I think you only share the result, so I can't see anything else.
Okay, just one.
I see only result viewer. If you are showing me anything else, we can't see it.
Can
So
you
go ahead.
see?
I want to start all over again.
Just one moment. Can you
Sure.
see now?
Nope.
Yes, are you sure?
You want to start all?
What about now?
Yeah, I can.
Change
So
that.
you are missing
This
the
name, I
password
this name,
login.
And it's giving me.
Yeah, I don't know. I did enter, but I'm not sure what's wrong here.
Why would you,
Cancel this.
why would, can you get rid of the steps and record again? This
Okay.
time, the browser window, okay, close the browser window before
That's
you
it.
stop
Delete
recording.
everything else.
Okay.
Just say clear.
So
Okay,
delete all the steps.
okay.
Yep, select everything and delete it.
Just clear. Click on it.
Okay, you don't have any browser window open, right? Right now? Yeah.
It's not open. It's not like, because it's in the parallel screen I have it. So
Can
it's
you close out please all the screen, all the windows? Everything else, just close it out. So make sure when you record, your browser window has to be closed out, okay? Otherwise, it will not record it properly either. That's the common thing I have seen in the past as well.
okay.
Make
Let
sure
me,
you close out Internet Explorer and everything else
okay, let
except
me,
Oh,
before you record and run the test.
even if you have Chrome open,
Which one? No, Chrome is fine, but Internet Explorer has to be closed out. And then you can record it. And before you run it, make sure it's closed out as well.
Yeah, it's, when I record, it says, and it's, I think this is not right, URL is not right.
Yeah, you probably have a wrong URL. So this is the URL, rflon.azurewebsites.net. That's the URL.
Should I just leave the URL here?
No, go back to record run setting and give it there. But if you do it in browser, it will not do anything.
Ashal, I got it.
You got it? Okay.
Yeah,
What was the
thank
issue?
you.
All right, sounds good.
I restarted and did it.
Okay. Yep. Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
Is it working for you?
I just want to do everything from beginning. So because I think something messed up. So
That's okay. Yeah, go ahead and
so
maybe
so,
create.
so should I close it and then open the application again and do it?
No, just do new test. Start with the file new test.
Okay.
And then okay, I got it covered a few more things. So let's I'll give you guys 5 minutes, otherwise you can work through later on, okay? So let me get you 10:55. See if you can move on, otherwise you might have to basically work through a little bit later. The most of the other people are done.
Okay, so I just want to quickly show you something. I can't see the run
Go ahead and share the
button.
screen.
Yeah, just one moment. Okay, so from this page, I can't see the how to run it.
Because it's running, Vaibhavi. You gotta click on stop button, stop.
This one?
Yeah, that's a stop button. Then only you can change it or modify it or run it. But that last step is not correct. So you gotta get rid of that.
Okay.
I think you did the file, some menu close or something instead of closing the browser window. This something else. But make sure before you run it, right? All the browser windows are closed. Internet Explorer specifically.
Yeah, I did that.
It looks like they are open to me. So make sure you close it.
Okay.
Close both windows. I can see.
Okay.
Now you can do run. Now you're executing your test, record a script. Again, I think some setting is messed up. Your browser window is not opening 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, close out this browser window. First of all, as soon as you are done, you should be closing out. Close everything, yeah. Okay, now you can see the results are there. You didn't have any error, which is fine. We haven't talked about anything else. So close this window as well.
Okay.
Close this window, yep. Go back to your open the browser just now, Internet Explorer. See, it's not opening 100%. Okay, first of all, click on maximize. The second thing, go to the browser. You see the second last icon at the top in the bar, which is setting, browser settings.
This
Yep.
one? Yeah.
Yep. And make sure it's 100%. Okay, so this one is 100%, which is good. Now you close out the window.
All of them?
Yeah. Yep, everything. Yeah.
Okay.
And now when you record the next time, make sure, I think it should record fine. But I think I see it's working fine now. Okay.
All right. Yep. Thank you.
All right, so let me move on here I want to show you a few more things and actually work on additional tests that you can write and work through it, automating. So let me go and share my screen first. Okay, so it's good so far. So we are recording, right? Hopefully you understand the process. Right? It is recording right now. It is recording. So you understand the process here, right? How you can record and execute, because that's the important part here. But most important part is you must have written down steps, because that's your manual test case. If you don't have that, you cannot automate anything. Okay, so you have to have written down steps for your manual test case, because you are trying to automate that and execute over and over using the tool here. Okay, so now going back to the same test case. Okay, so I know the steps. So I'm just going to record again here. And I have this window open. Make sure I should close that. So I'm going to make sure no browser windows are open. I don't have anything open Internet Explorer wise. So let me record it. See, my browser window opens 100%. And again, setting is whatever is there. It should be 100% as well. So here I'm going to use training, login. Now we are talking about how do you make it pass or fail. right? That because that's the important part. Without that, your script is of no good, no value. Okay. So we will talk about this this bar that opens up, because this is important bar, and this is where you can leverage certain functionality. So I'm going to start with the left. So this is for stopping the test recording. Okay, so if you click on this, it will stop the recording, and whatever steps you have captured is will be there. This one is actual test. This is our actual test steps here. So action 1 is we have it, which is fine. This we are working with action 1. This one is you can create new action, but I'm not going to go over that because that's something you probably will not do in the real life. Default. Now there are different levels of recording. Okay, so sometimes you might have to have some mouse click captured and certain things. You will leave the default for 99% of the scenario. Okay, for 1%, you might have to look into analog recording, low level recording, inside recording. For web apps, you will leave default for that. Now, this guy is called Object Spy. Okay, it's more like a James Bond, right? We have a new movie coming up, spy movie. That guy knows everything about what's in the browser. Same thing. Here, this is Object Spy. If I click on it, okay, and it pops up another box. So there's a here, I think you can see the hand, something like this. That's the important part. So I can click on it, and then I can go to the any object in the browser to see what properties it has. So it will show me all the HTML properties available with that particular object. So if I go to the logout, it will tell me what are the certain HTML properties. So it's a link. First of all, it shows me as a link here. So if I click on it, right, it shows me as a link logout. Then it shows me other properties that it has, kind of like a name and so forth.
So these are not recorded.
These are not recorded. No, it's just for spying, just to see what is the name of the object. Now you can do the same thing with that other tool, right? That I talked about here, inspect. You can do the same thing, but that one is not available during record time or in the IE. You can't even see. Oh, actually, there is inspect element. So I guess it is available. So I can do the same thing, or I can use Object Spy just to see what the name and ID is another thing. But it's of no use. Okay. So that's all the Object Spy does, nothing else. There is object repository. So the way UFT works is when you record this thing, right? And if you are interacting with certain objects, so kind of like we are entering data into the login, it will create it will extract out all the HTML properties, certain important ones like a name, value, text, and so forth, and store it in the UFT repository. So during the record time. So when you are recording it, right? So let me go back here, see what I mean by that. So when I'm recording, and there are a bunch of properties I can see in the object spy. Okay, let's see this guy. Okay, so its name is this one, txt password. Then I have class name. There are some default value, inner HTML, inner text. So there are some text values. So it will capture the properties and it will store it in the repository. That happens during the record time. Okay. Now during the runtime, it will compare those properties with the runtime properties. Okay. And that's how it will know if anything has changed in the application or not. Plus some other things. So I'll show you what the repository looks like here in a minute. But okay, but that's what the whole purpose of this repository is. Okay, that's what the repository is. Extract out all the properties about username, password that we are interacting with, or login button, and store it in the repository. And then finally, the important values, how do you make it pass or fail? These are called checkpoints. So, and I'll show you the usage of the checkpoint. But 99% of the time, you'll be using either standard checkpoint or text checkpoint. There are other checkpoints available, but certain checkpoints are for Windows-based application. So like text checkpoint, text area checkpoint. Certain checkpoints, you can verify some file content, XML file content, or you can actually write a query and go into a database, execute a query, and we'll check the value in the database, and so forth. Now, those are special cases. I'm not going to touch upon it. We'll focus on standard checkpoint and text checkpoint. Those are the two ones. Okay, and I'll show you the difference of those two checkpoints. So checkpoints are very important. It makes pass or fail in your software. Okay, so I clicked on a bunch of things. So let me go and stop my recording, and I'm going to start over. Okay, so now we'll talk about specific things. But before I do that, let me show you the repository I was talking about. Okay, so you will see the repository under resources. I can see object repository, right? Because I already recorded so many times the same test. So I should have something in the repository. And when I open it, I see my home. Then I will see my different these controls, and I can see certain properties captured and stored in the repository. Okay, this is a login button, but let me see if anything else is there. Other ones are these are just ignore those. But these are some of the ones that we have here. And I'll show you once we record it actually, see if we can find our other text box and so forth. Let me go and run it again, record it again. No, it will not record because I have browser window open. Okay, because I said no recording on the open browser window. All right, so make sure your browser window is closed. Let's go back. And this time I'm going to put S trading. And login. Okay, so now I'm on this page. Now let's talk about how do we use the checkpoint first, because that's the important part. So first of all, what determines pass or fail for the super user? So what we'll do is we'll validate whether the admin homepage is present or not, okay, or something like that. So what I can do is I can instruct the tool to look for presence of this admin homepage text or link. For that, I can start with the standard checkpoint, see if it captures properly. If not, I can use the text checkpoint. But I know this is a standard checkpoint. It works with the controls. Text checkpoint is used mainly to verify the text, kind of like a welcome Charles and so forth. Okay, so standard checkpoint, I'm going to use it first. So as soon as I click on it, it will come and I will click on basically this particular control here. Okay, so it will pop up link admin homepage. So what we are telling browser or the tool to verify the link every time I log in successfully, and it will look for this link present on the page of this. If the link is not present, it will be incorrect thing. Now, once I click OK, again, it, as I said, it captures a bunch of properties. Okay, but we are interested in only certain properties like a admin homepage, and it's a link control is basically tag is anchor tag here, and it's a link control and so forth. Other properties that are not selected will not be verified. Okay, so only property that you select will be verified for validating whether I'm on the right homepage or not. For now, I'm going to leave everything default. It will verify these 4 things, and it will be all good. Okay, so at this point, I inserted the checkpoint verification step. And now I'm going to close my browser window by clicking X. And I'm going to stop my run here. Okay, now my script is a little bit messed up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of certain steps here. Okay, because this is the first step, then I'm set secure is fine. Oh, this one is again in capture properly. Yep. So set training, let me just do set again. By the way, when you do like this, it's a kind of like object-oriented programming, dot, and then what the operation that you want to do. So here I'm going to do set, and then training is a password. Again, login click. Then I have a new line inserted. Once I log in successfully, then I should verify this checkpoint admin homepage. Okay, then sync and close tabs. Okay. Now, if I go to the repository, let me show you the repository now. So I go to the object repository under resources. And I see the checkpoint now, admin homepage. Okay. And I see those 4 things that it's required for verification. Okay. So these are 4 things it will verify. If I go to my page here, see if I captured anything else, anything new here. No, everything else is same. Because these are already captured certain things. So it's good. But here checkpoint is important because that's what it will verify. Put it in the repository. My script looks good, so I'm going to run it. Make sure no browser windows are open. So now it will run it. Now I see certain different activity. Okay. Some of you closed out these windows, right? Some of you, closed out this thing, so nothing shows up here. Results are there, it's just that it's not visible. Okay, for you, go back to the view, result details, and it will start showing up again. There are a bunch of windows here. You can open data, log tracking, all those things that you can play around on your own time. But I can see clearly that this thing is green. So my test case actually passed, automated test case. Now I can expand all the way down to see what happened. And I can see the checkpoint. It says a checkpoint passed. Okay. And it found exactly all the properties are matching for the control. Okay. For our verification step. Okay. So that's the reason it makes it pass or fail. Now, if I want to fail it, just in case, just to see how it works. So what I can do is I'll go back to the object repository. Let me go back to the admin homepage, checkpoint. And what I'll say in a text, I can change it here to homepage 1, 2, 3 or something. I'll put some jump for verification. So what it will do is it will store this value in the repository, and when I'm running it, it will compare with the actual value that is on the page. Okay, so I'm changing in the repository something, and if I run it, hopefully it will fail this time, same test case, because I'm comparing with the different value. So now it shows failed here because I changed the value in the repository. So one of the property value. Okay, and it will show me checkpoint failed, and it will tell me why it failed. It says it was expected was this, but the actual it was admin homepage. So it compared both values, and that's why it made it failed our test case here. Okay, again repository, go back, and I'll correct the value here. Whatever I change, I'm going to put back the original value. Okay, and if I run it, this time again it will pass. So you can play around with this thing so that you understand how the tool works really. Now it is passed here. Any question? on this thing. Okay, let me show you one more. Okay, and then I'll let you guys work through certain test cases creation from your standpoint. So this time I'm going to create a brand new one, start from scratch, right? All right, let's see which one we can do. How about the load calculator? Positive test case, right? Positive test case. When I say positive test case, what does it mean? Supply good value and you should expect certain result, right? That's a positive test case. And then I will have my step. I will have expected and actual. Okay. Okay, first of all, the URL portion, right? We already configured in the tool. You don't have to specify over and over again. It should be already be there. If not, step one is always go to URL. And you are there on the page. Now, manual test case, right? Assuming it passed manual test. That means your functionality is working as expected. So once you go to URL, you log in with dealer credential, user and password. Dealer user, supply password. That's your next step. User, let's say G training, and this one is training. What is your expected? You can specify, okay, in the manual test case. After that, you log in and you are on dealer homepage. Okay. Now then what? You have to access the calculator functionality, right? In your test case. What I mean by that is, once I log in as G training and training, I end up on a dealer homepage, but there is no calculator here. Now, assuming this functionality works okay, so you have to access the calculator functionality by clicking on this calculator. Okay, so that's what my manual step is. So click on calculator button or link, whatever you say. Then calculator homepage is displayed. Calculator page is displayed. Okay. So once I'm on calculator page, what is my next step? I'm going to fill out value 1000, right? And then I'm going to click on calculate. It should show me 30. Okay. So input 1000 as loan amount. Then last step will be click calculate. Now, if you click calculator, what is that you are verifying? This 30 value shows up. Is that correct? Or no? Right? So verify that $30, this is displayed. Imagine you are executing this. This is your test case for loan calculation for positive value. Okay. So you are following these steps. You documented that in Azure DevOps. You have everything and it's working fine. Software is designed according to these steps and it's good. Now you are planning to automate this test case. So you need to capture this thing. Again, process remains same, what you did with the super user, right? You have to go there. Now, when you click calculate, the verification is important. This is where you have to use the checkpoint to verify that. See here, you are saying I am on Arflown homepage. You are not verifying that I am on Arflown homepage. You are just saying, okay, expected I am on dealer homepage, whatever. That's it. You are not gonna put any verification here because your goal is to verify load calculator functionality, nothing else. Okay. So final step is very important. This is where you will input the checkpoint for your test case and make sure the tool can repeat that or execute that properly and capture. So that's what I'll show you here, how you can automate these steps. Okay. So this time I'm going to close the browser window and I'm going to follow my own steps and capture the script here. And this time, let me go and create a new one. So I'm going to start over, new test case, new test. And let's give some meaningful name, load calculator. Okay. And that's it. GUI test, load calculator, click create. So again, I'm on this window, going to click on action. Okay, now everything is empty. Okay. So first of all, you want to make sure the record run settings, your first step, go to URL is okay. So it will carry generally the setting that you have specified earlier. Okay. So you don't need to change anything here. As long as you see the URL, it's all good. Okay. So I'm just going to cancel out, or you can click OK, it's fine. Now I'm going to start recording my script by following these steps. So that's what my test case is, right? So record, it will open up G training, click login. Again, my step is to go to the calculator page. So I'm going to click on it. I'm here. So I'm going to put $1,000, following my own steps, and click calculate. Shows me 30. So now we have a tool. We have the tool. So we have to tell the tool to verify this $30 amount. That's where those checkpoints are used. I'm going to start using the standard checkpoint or text checkpoint. Let me show you the text checkpoint first. So let's assume this seems like a text, right, on the page. So I'm going to use text checkpoint. And I'm going to click on 30. And it shows me some junk information here. It's not showing me, it's just a 30, but it shows me 30, calculate auto report page and all those bunch of things. Something is wrong with my checkpoint. Okay. So you have to cancel out at this point, and you will say standard checkpoint because text did not work for us. So I'm going to use the standard checkpoint. This time I'm going to click again on the same thing. Now it shows me $30. That's what I need. That's the only thing I need to verify. Because it's a web element, it's captured as a web element and not text. Okay. So that's the reason the standard checkpoint works mostly, even if it looks like a text, but you can use standard checkpoint if it captures properly. Okay. So this time I'm going to click OK. And now I can see it. HTML tag span and inner text is 30. Okay, so I need to verify this value. And this is a span, which is okay. It's a HTML tag. It's fine. So at this point, I'm good. So I'm going to click OK. And I'm going to close my browser window. Okay? At the end of the run, I want to close out the browser window. Okay, so I'm going to close it. Stop recording. Let's see if our steps are captured properly. So I'm logging in G training, password, login, calculator, click. Okay, setting 1000. Again, click calculate, and then my checkpoint. Okay, so logically it meets with my manual test case step. Then the sync and then close all tabs. Okay, so I'm going to save this guy because my steps looks correct. And I'm going to run it, execute it. Yeah, you have to save the script, right? So it's just saving the script. And this time I can clearly see, yep, it looks like it made it. The main thing I'm interested in the checkpoint. See what happened to the checkpoint. It does say 30, basically, so it was expecting it, that's what it showed, 30 on the page, okay? So that's where your test case will end. Now, if you do want to play around, if I want to fail this value, instead of 30, I want to see 40, if I'm expecting 40. Again, you go back to the resources, object repository, and you should see your checkpoint under checkpoint. Okay, whatever its name is, it's a dollar is a name. But here, this value, let's say I was expecting $35 instead of $30. Okay, so I change the value, and I'm going to close out. And if I run it, just to play around with the tool. So now it actually failed my test case. So I'm going to go back here to see what captured. So it will tell me 35 was expected, but 30 showed up. And that's the reason it failed your test case. So if something changes in the software, let's assume some developer by mistake, some logic, as they change it. And your test will capture, because you are expecting your test to pass, it will fail at this point. So that you can tell the developer, hey, something got changed. What got changed? You gotta fix it at that point. Okay. Any question on this one? You guys understand the checkpoint? How do you supply, right? And what to verify? Every test that you can automate has to have a checkpoint. Otherwise, there is no point of creating the test scripts, automation scripts. Because all depends on, can I pass or fail at the end, all the tests. Okay. Any question from anybody online? Okay, if you don't have a question, what I like you guys to do is super user login, put a checkpoint, loan calculator, and then the third one I will give you on the board here. That you will create. I want to see what you guys come up with. Okay.
Harshal, I have a question.
Sure.
If I'm doing for the login valid login credentials, so in that case, we are entering a login, user ID and password, and
Yep.
if we are able to log in, then it was a valid, yes.
Yep.
So how we are going to put the checkpoint for this one?
No, the checkpoint here, your goal is not to validate the login for this test case, right?
No, not for this one. I'm just asking for that case.
Yeah, standard checkpoint, right?
Yes.
We discussed, right? The admin homepage, you will do that. If it's a dealer, then you can verify the calculator button, link shows up or not.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Something has to be unique about the page that you can verify for that particular user type.
Okay.
Gotcha? Okay. All right, so work through these two and then I'll give you the bonus one, third one, and then I'll show you one more trick. Okay. So I'll give you roughly about 25 minutes to work on both. Okay, 20 minutes to work on both. Because you already did the first one, you have to wipe out the steps. Okay, re-record it. You cannot insert checkpoint after the fact. Okay, so make sure you wipe out, start a brand new test case for super user, and then put a checkpoint while you are recording it. Not once you record, if you forgot to put that in, you have to re-record.
Right? So we start with Once you put it in. It's not, it's just, yes. So. Probably. Before.
Make sure browser windows are closed,
Okay,
right?
so once you finish the browser, you should be good.
All the browser windows should be closed before you record and play.
Okay, stop recording.
Eye is throwing him error. Dilip? Is the eye throwing?
It's not recording this, but
Create a new test.
yeah, close the,
Create a brand new test so that it will start recording.
so-
Taking the old URL, the wrong one.
Go and record and run setting. That's the only place you have URL. That's the only place you can have URL. So make sure that URL is correct.
I do that.
Arflon.azurewebsites.net.
One thing is whenever you're recording it, just don't select pre-filled fields, type in the whole thing.
Yep.
For now, it's okay.
Yeah, these are tools. So if you are good with the technology, and if you are not, you have to put a little bit more in effort. Make sure you do it properly with the step by step and so forth.
You are pressing the admin homepage for the
verification and stating the link of the home page.
Do you have 100% browser the setting? Can you please check?
Is 1.5%.
Yeah, so it needs to be 100. So you gotta stop recording, re-record.
Or it should
Make
be
sure-
set at 100.
Yeah, exactly at 100. Otherwise, I said, right? It will not capture certain things properly.
Okay.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
I need to put in the 30 myself.
No, that's the system will calculate, right? Because you are verifying, what are you putting?
No, when I click on
What test case you are
the
doing?
checkpoint,
Yeah,
it open a window.
no, it will capture it for you. If you click on 30, it will read the value and store it for you. And then it will compare it when you run next time, the test case, right?
To go to the next test case, what do I do? Like,
Just repeat the step, new test, record the steps again.
so should I stop recording?
Yeah, but this one is working for you? Super user? Okay, yeah, they just create a new task.
So I did the super user.
Yep, yeah, save it, yep. Save it, test. You have to stop recording, make sure if you play back, it should work fine.
So stop recording and then save.
Yeah, you have to stop recording, right? In order to do the second test case. File new test and work through that, yep. This time you will have empty test. What is it?
Looks like something is lost.
You might want to remove your machine maybe, as well, if that's the case.
I did restart the tool, but so
No, did you create a new test case?
I did.
Did it ever work on this one? Oh, first one didn't work either, oh, okay,
I
so,
thought it was working before.
yeah. Is this a new computer that you got? Your virus thing, no, this URL is wrong. First of all,
No, it's not. Yes. This is a
Oh, is it?
Yes. The site comes up.
a site comes up but doesn't record.
Yeah, it doesn't record. See, everything comes up. Yeah, it's something.
Let me check the. Browser.
The next thing I'm not sure. Notice at the bottom. It's still launched. Just go ahead and use it.
It's not the edge.
So restart.
Okay.
No, no. Oh. See,
Oh, it's closing
it's
and,
closing and it's going back to the edge.
yeah,
That's the
this
problem.
is
I
the,
did the crawl, so closest thing.
I can see, yeah. No, the Chrome, you need to have extension.
Okay.
If you don't even have extension, then it will not work.
Yeah, that's
For the
probably.
Yeah, so something in the setting, so it's closing the browser.
It's going back to the edge. That's all.
Yeah,
Yes.
it does similar on mine, but this is still open to the tool on mine. So I think Microsoft is pointing everybody to
Yeah, it's
Chrome.
no longer supported.
No longer supported IE browser. How can we turn that off? Let me take a look at research and let me just search it on my machine. I'll let you
So
know.
that I can get a take a look.
What are I just do, okay? And
Did you pick this kind of check? Traditionally, it's check which test is you're running. And what you can test. So, think about it. Are you seeing? that
Okay,
you're
so-
running any error? You're not, right?
Smart.
you probably
So
didn't
here,
select the
I think this is the way. You read it. If you don't want Windows 10 to whatever you redirect your IE to Edge,
You didn't select the right component.
stop it. How you can do it?
Cancel it. You can do standard checkpoint. Then you click on the 30.
Harshal, with the loan calculator, it's showing some error, run error.
Uh-huh.
I did it twice, but both time it's giving some error. I'm not able to understand what is meant by that.
Okay, give me a second, Jimbo, okay? Give me maybe a couple of minutes.
Okay.
Actually, go and share your screen, Dimple, meanwhile.
Okay.
Asma, can you follow these 4 steps? Open the Edge browser. You see it, right? Follow these steps on your machine and see if that that does the trick for you. Yes, Dimple, go ahead.
Yeah. So should I do it again? Like, should I run the test again?
Yeah, run the test. Let me see the error that it pops up.
Oh, for sure.
Dilip, you want to do it on his machine quickly? The steps.
I think this time it worked.
This time it ran okay?
Yeah, actually, I think I forgot to close the Internet Explorer before running the test. That's why maybe.
Yeah, okay. Sounds good. As long as it's working, it's good.
Okay. So Harshal, what's the third task you gave? Third one?
So, what is it? Can you repeat your question, Dimple?
What is the third task you already, I think you,
So dealer search, exact match, test case.
I'm not able to see that.
Oh, yeah, okay, let me share it. Dealer search, exact match, test case. So I'm not gonna give you guys steps. You should have a test case for that. For exact match dealer, think through the steps. What are the manual steps, and then you can automate that particular step. Yeah.
It's not giving me the result it showed in the website. but
Okay.
not Here.
Did you insert checkpoint? Yeah, so you need to have a checkpoint, right? So wipe out your test, re-record it, and make sure you insert the checkpoint this time on the 30. Otherwise, your test will not work.
Harshal, can you clear the third requirement? I'm not, like, I didn't
So-
get what.
Testing a dealer search functionality by exact match dealer, right? Supplying the exact match for the dealer. How would you test that? So think about, I'm a user, I'm trying to find a dealer in the system, and I'm going to supply the exact dealer name, and I should see the results.
Always
That
go
way.
to the Edge browser.
Did
Okay.
anybody look at this particular test case? If not, think about it and write it and work through that steps. You have a system, right? So you can go simulate the functionality, come up with the steps as well, if you want that route. So log into the system and work through that. Is it working, Dilip, on his?
Yeah.
It's good. All right.
Because once it's stopped redirecting.
Yeah,
back to
yeah.
the edge, then-
Yep.
Because earlier it was trying to get to the edge. and it
I had the
was-
same issue on mine, so I had to do something. I forgot what I did, but then, yeah, those steps similar. On the new machines, it does that automatically.
Yeah, because they're trying to do.
Yeah.
I think it's on Windows 11, it's no longer even installed.
Yeah, yeah. Plus, I mean, what is that? I don't know. They are trying to push that out, so. Is it working for you, Lila?
It's asking me when I give the checkpoint,
Uh-huh.
something popped up with.
Let's see. So it will pop up with those properties, right? But is it the right thing that you click? I'm not sure. Can you cancel out? Go back to the. Go back to the checkpoint insertion. See, you did the set 100,000, but there is no checkpoint. You have to wipe out and record it again.
This is what happened before too, like I.
Oh, no, you click here, right? Now insert checkpoint. So go to the bulb. Do the standard checkpoint.
Yeah.
Then click on 30 here. So I'm not sure. See, I can clearly see it's there,
Oh,
right? So now if you click OK, because you have to say OK, right? In order to insert the checkpoint. Close out the browser window, then stop recording. Your script should look something similar to what I have.
should I say okay for this, like checkpoint properties?
Yeah, you have to, I mean, right? I mean, without that, if you don't say OK, what the tool gonna do? All right, I'm gonna give you guys another 10 minutes and then I'm gonna show you one more thing. And then also you guys work through one more exercise afterwards.
Like, in this.
Dealer search, if you can finish it up, but at least you have to write it down. Make sure you spend time creating the manual test case, right? So, and the automation should be easy if you already have written down test case. Otherwise, you will spin wheel on writing it.
So like for dealer set, I'll be searching the dealer with.
Dealer by dealer name,
number
dealer
or
by dealer name.
by dealer name.
Yep.
So we should know the user name.
You can't use the username, right?
Yeah.
Who always able to search the dealer?
The user and.
The users are able to search the dealer?
For the dealer.
Well, which type of user? Is it dealer user, it's lender user?
Super user.
Yeah, super, you can use super user as well. Yep,
So we should log in as a super user and then.
yep,
use that.
perform the steps.
But after logging in as super user.
That's you have to figure out, right? What is that, what is over there?
Again, the automation is not direct. You have to first do the manual step. Once it works,
Manual
then
test
you can
case
go.
has to be good, then only you can do automation, as I said.
Mhm.
So That's your, could be your homework exercise. Figure out how to, where to do it.
So the superuser will go to dealer management and then.
Yep. Yep. It's a very straightforward test case. I mean, this one. But you need to understand what happens, right? That's part of it.
The user, superuser will log in and will go to the dealer management and then the search tab comes up.
How is everybody doing online? Anybody running into issue? I guess everybody's good.
Harshal, when I click on checkpoint, it is just selecting page instead of 30 or something.
So check your browser setting. You said it's 100, right? Set to that.
Yeah.
Go ahead and share your screen. Let me see what you are trying to do there.
Okay.
Okay. But where are the additional steps that you have? I don't see you stopped at 1,000. You're
Yeah,
supposed to-
actually, I was trying to do it, but in between I asked you.
Okay,
So,
then yeah.
Let me just.
Yeah, wipe out. Yep.
It's open.
Yeah, you stopped recording again because you had the browser window open, so it did not do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, close the record button. Yeah, stop, click on stop. Yep, and start again.
Oh, it was 100% maximized.
Okay. Can you show me, can you click on settings first? I want to see your 100% or not. On the settings, browser setting on the right side, you see the smile. Yep, it's 200 right now. So see, you have to have it on 100, that one. It will not work.
Okay.
Set it to 100, close it out, wipe out the script and record again. Yeah, delete, I mean, stop recording as well. Make sure you stop recording every time.
It's
That's okay. Now at least the setting is 100, so it should be. Let's see, perform the steps. Now for checkpoint.
oh
Yep.
now
Yeah, because of the setting that you had it on the 100, 200%, that makes a difference. Okay. You can
Okay.
stop sharing your screen now.
Harshal, I have a question about the inserting checkpoint.
Go ahead.
So like how I'm going to find like, just give me a second. So when we insert the checkpoint, so there are some options like text or some other options. So how I'm going to find out like which one will match with the requirement? Like, is
Yeah,
it
so generally, as I said, right, 95% of the time you will, or 99, I would say 98, would be the either standard or text checkpoint. Now,
okay?
standard checkpoint works with the controls on the page.
Controls means like clicking thing?
Click, not the.
There's no right or wrong answer. You have to execute and say, is it coming out what do you expect?
So control meaning like an input to text box or checkbox or anything else, like a drop downs and so forth. Those are controls, right?
Mm-hmm.
Works with that. Text works with like any static text on the page.
Remember,
So you start with the standard one. If it doesn't work, go to the text, or you start with the text and you don't see the expected, then try the standard checkpoint.
So like with the dealer exact match case requirement.
Yep.
So I'm like,
What are you
like,
verifying?
so I log in by the super admin.
I know. No verification. What you will verify at the end? Because that's
So
what the check.
Yes. So I searched for German Honda, and then there is a page with all the details of German Honda. So I'm verifying if the page that is opened is related to the German Honda page dealer.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So you insert try the text checkpoint or standard checkpoint. I think standard should work with that because
Okay.
you find a link or something or franchise number or something that is unique to that dealer.
So can I show you like what I'm?
Yeah.
Like,
What is your screen?
So here I'm trying to insert the checkpoint. So if I'm going with the standard checkpoint, so I'm trying to match the German Honda because I was searching with.
Yep.
So okay. So how I'm going to select this thing?
No, you don't set it. That's your test data, right? So it should already be exist in the system. That's your precondition for this running the test case here. Because it's you are searching for existing dealer. Now, if you don't have that and you want to include the steps for creating the dealer with a specific name that is unique, you know it's going to be unique. Then you create the dealer first, and then in your steps, in your automation script, And then you try to search for the dealer to see if it shows up in the search. Again, it goes back to whether the dealer you already know in the system.
Okay. Yeah, I already know it was there in the system, so that's why I did not created any dealer.
Right.
So I just put in the search bar and.
Yep.
So should I like how I'm going to select this thing? Like earlier, now this is blue. Earlier it was not blue. I was not able to select this thing earlier when I was trying.
You try insert checkpoint. Try inserting the checkpoint. See which one shows you the correct result.
Okay.
Okay, wait. Don't click on. See, it's showing you some weird thing here.
Yes.
Click OK. All right, let's see what it shows properties wise. See, it's showing the inner text German Toyota. Yep, it is good. So it is
Okay.
showing German Toyota here. Okay, because that's what you need for verification.
Okay.
At this point, you are good. Yep. So you close out the browser window. Your test case recorded is good, and
Okay.
it should work as expected.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
You can stop sharing.
Harshal, can I share my screen again? Because when I run the test, it doesn't show me passed or failed.
Yeah, so your checkpoint is not inserted correctly, Paurami. But yeah, go
I
ahead.
try. Yeah.
What were you asking?
Should we also include the step of logging out?
You don't need to, right? In this case, log in or yes, we are closing the browser window. So at the end,
Log out and
it will automatically log out as well, right? Now, if you are doing something else, like logging in as a dealer or lender differently,
Yeah.
then you have to log out, log back in as different user and perform all the steps. Okay. Can you run it? See what happens?
Yeah.
I think you're clicking twice on the calculator. Make sure you clean up your script.
Okay.
That's okay, but let's run it, see what happens. So somehow your checkpoint is not inserted properly. That's the only thing I can tell you. Because I don't see pass or fail here. So you gotta re-record the script, make sure your checkpoint is inserted properly. Even though you said checkpoint 30, but it's not somehow not captured properly at this point. Go back to your repository, resources repository. Let's see what it is.
So it's coming like this. I cannot
Yeah, you
see.
have multiple checkpoints. 1, 2, couple of checkpoints, right? And then I would suggest you create a brand new test and record again, okay?
Okay.
Create a brand new test, okay? Just get rid of this test, create a new test and record your steps. No, new test. Create a file, new test, and record your steps.
Oh, new file. Okay.
New file test, yep.
Okay, I'll do that.
Yep. Okay, you guys will have some time to work through. Let me show you one more thing, okay? Because that's kind of like important as well. And that would be the last thing I wanted to show you for today. So just pay attention here. And let's come back. Because it's a common scenario, common way of doing things as well. So you will come across that in the real life as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new test. And this time I'll just say something different. So brand new test. Okay. So let's come back to the super user, right? So if I'm on the Outflow page, yes, training, and I'm on the training, and I'm seeing this home page, right? Now, if I'm logging as a lender, training, I'll see the lender homepage. So what we are trying to do is validate the user, different user and their home pages, right? In the single test case. Ideally, I mean, if you don't have single, otherwise normal ways you record for the lender homepage, login, their test case, then dealer user their own test case and all those things. But in the real life, you don't want to do that. Only thing changing here is a different user and the different verification step. So you are just changing, supplying, you're performing the same steps, right? Supply username, password, login, those three are common. Finally, once you're logged in, you're verifying something on the page. That flow doesn't change. So how can you do that with a single test case? So there is a way around it in the tool where you can do it. So you record the steps once and you supply different values, because only thing changing is different username, password, and what are you verifying on the page that is different, right? So how can you do that using the tool? So let me show you, since I just created a brand new test, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to record it. Okay, it's the same thing. So I'm just going to click OK. I'll record normally, just like I do. So I'm going to record for super user for now as training, login. All right. Then I'm going to capture the checkpoint, standard checkpoint. And let's say we capture admin homepage, link admin homepage, which is captured. And now here, the few properties here. Let's say I'm just verifying the inner text. This one is fine. Okay, I'm going to unclick the href page because I don't worry about what link, what site it will take me to. Okay, I'm not worried about that page, and I'm not worried about. Well, I'll leave three properties because I know when I log in, all the elements will be same. No matter who I'm logged in, only thing will be different would be the inner text, they would be different, but this tag will be same. Anchor, it's a link, it's gonna be linked, so it will be same. So for now, I will verify these three properties and click OK. All right, so I'm going to close this. I recorded the steps, stop it. Let's verify it, okay, as training. And then I'm going to change it to the password here. Simple password, training. Click on it, checkpoint, sync, close all that. My test case is recorded. And let me just run it just for sake of it to see if it runs okay. Okay, so this one is passed. Okay, great. Because it verified the checkpoint, admin homepage, and all three properties. See, it shows only three properties here. All right. So how can I send the different values? Now I have this value, and potentially the value here that I'm verifying. Three different values to send. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip a different view here. If you know the way to create it programmatically, you can change it right here in the script and work through it. But since we don't know, so I'm going to go and change it to the keyword view. Okay, keyword view. It's just a different view. Steps remain same. There is no changes here. All right, so it flipped the same thing, but it just gives me different look for the steps I have. Okay, so I'm interested in supplying this value for different logins, these two values, and the value over here for different logins. All right, so how do I do that? So I'm going to click on this one first. And there is a small, like an arrow type of thing here at the end. Okay, it shows. So I'm going to click on that. It says configure value. Okay, that's all it says. So I'm going to click on that. And right now it's a constant. It says a constant. That means the value, this is the value it has to supply, constant value, fixed value. What I want to do is I want to change it parameterized or change it dynamically, that value for different things. So what I will click on is parameter. And it says data table. It comes from the table. Okay. And I'll give some meaningful name. So let me give, it's a username, right? So I will say username. And location in the data set is global. Okay, global meaning it will be available for multiple runs from anywhere else. Okay, so I will leave that default, no changes over there. Just only thing I change is username and change to the parameter. Click OK. So now I will have a column called username and I have a S training as a value. I'm going to repeat the same process for training. This time parameter, change the value to password and leave the other thing same. So now a second column called password. It's like you're supplying the values from the Excel type of thing. Now I'll go back to the checkpoint and I'll say checkpoint properties. Again, these values are here, but I'm going to supply from the parameter. Okay. So this one is a constant. I don't care about this one, but I need to change these two values. Okay, inner tags. So I'm going to change it to parameter, and I can give some meaningful name as well, or I can leave it default. Doesn't matter. Let me just leave it default. Okay, click OK. So that would be my third value. I'll go back here, and I'll finally make the fourth value here. Okay, and I'll parameterize it. Click on, because everything has to match, then only my test case will pass. Okay, so this one I'll change it to parameter. Click OK. So now I have 4 fields: inner text value and the page text, which is again both are same for the S training and training. So now all I have to do is supply additional value. So I'll say this is a dealer, right? So G training, and I will say dealer homepage. So for dealer homepage, I'll use this to login. Then I'll verify these two values there on the page. For then I have lender, L training and training, lender homepage and lender homepage. Okay. Now, how do I know these two controls are there? Because I can log in manually, L training, and I'm expecting to verify this control. It says lender homepage. So this is the value. For G training, right? I'm verifying this dealer homepage text or the link on the page. Okay. So that's what I'm trying to do. Now let's go back to the test case here. See in our original mode, editor, which is nothing but editor mode or script mode. Now these values, as I said, if you know programmatically, you can just simply add the columns and the values. Otherwise, set data table username from the DT global spreadsheet. Okay, so it will read the value from here. Same thing with the password and same thing with the checkpoint. It will happen. Okay. So for every record, every row, it will repeat our test case. That's what it will do. It will run that same test case 3 times. In this case, if I enter another thing called HPHP, and I know it's an administrator homepage, it need to have admin because it's an admin account, just to validate, right? So now it will run 4 times, same test case. Okay, so that's what it does. And let's see, I don't have anything open, and I'm going to run this time. And let's see what happens. I'm expecting it to run 4 times. So it ran now the second time. Okay. Now let's see, it ran into some issue, looks like, because otherwise it should go quickly. We might have missed one or two things over there. So it will take time out after maybe certain seconds. And we'll see what's wrong with it and try to fix it, see if we can fix it. Yeah, it's just name we missed something in the object verification, something. Properties match an existing object, link homepage checkpoint. So checkpoint has some issue for that. But it ran twice and then it crashed out from there. Okay, so if we can see it here, what went wrong. Some description didn't match because it captured a bunch of properties and we missed something somewhere. HTML tag, homepage name, homepage, HTML ID. Yeah, something like ID and other things it didn't match for those things. So what we can do is let's go back to the checkpoint and see if we can minimize the verification. We don't want to verify this one. We don't want to verify this one. Let's see if we have any other properties. So we'll verify only one. There might be other properties here. Admin homepage. Yeah, this is the value. So it's complaining about this value. Okay, in the actual test object. So either I can parameterize it or I can just say something else. Let me change it to data table again. And I'm going to pick the existing value, homepage tags. So it points to one of the column, this name value, and it should be okay. So now it points to here, that particular value. So now if I go and run it, hopefully this time I'm expecting it to pass again. Okay, so now it went past that hurdle, third one and the fourth one. And I should see all four passed, basically. So now we supply all different values. And I can clearly see what different values it matched up with different set, right? So here, dealer homepage, it matched, even though we recorded only once the same script. And again, this one. So it says pass, and it can see the lender homepage, it matched, and so forth. Okay. So this is called parameterization of your test cases, where you record it once and supply different values. Same thing you can do with the loan calculator. You supply 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 different values and compare and run it, and see if it gives you the expected result. You might have a running list of values that you want to run through, and so forth. Any question on this parameterization?
Actually, if the checkpoint is a text, so is it case sensitive? Like uppercase, lowercase?
It is case sensitive. I mean, definitely you want to put it same way. Yeah.
Even the space, if it is going to.
Yeah, spacing and everything has to be proper. Yep, that's exactly. If I put home page like here, value, some different value, it will crash right there. So if I run this one, I'm expecting first one to fail. Let's see if it passes or fails. It will tell us. Well, it passed this time. Let's see. So it didn't change the value here somehow. Okay. Anyway. Maybe I didn't click on the enter or something. Okay. I'm going to save it. Yeah, now it will fail here because it did not expect that, and it might crash out as well. Who knows? from the first one. Second one, it will fail again because we have a G training one. It will crash out. So we are expecting two will pass and two will fail at this point. Okay, so stop at the second failure. So here, let's see what it did. Here it's saying it's passed. I'm not sure how it would pass. Okay, reason object name not found. So something, yeah, it did not find it, but it still gave some warning and passed it. Second one, obviously, it failed it at this point. Yeah, again, it's try to find it here. Basically, there's a mismatch and crashed out with that. So, as I said, I mean, it's the idea behind it is you record once, apply different values, and make it parameters. Okay. If you guys want to try it, try this one, same one, or try the load calculator one, whichever one you guys prefer. If you do this one here, then do the load calculator for homework. Okay, so that you can practice something. So what we did for the checkpoint, let me just show you for the checkpoint, right? Other two are simple, but we change a couple of things. I have only this one enabled for verification, one property, okay? And the second one we change here is on the test object in the admin homepage. We change it pointed to the second, basically column, so that it gives the same name. There are two things that we did.
Ashil, what is this second value that you are changing?
So it is the name, actually name of text of the object, because it was at a couple of places. So one is here that we changed, but second property was hidden under description. So description, again, everything else is same, but this one was admin homepage, hardcoded. Okay, so I change it to come from the spreadsheet from the bottom. And once you record it, you will see it. So again, admin homepage is kind of like a object as well. So it has its own properties plus the checkpoint. So there are two places you have to change it. Same thing with the load calculator. If you do that, you will have to change two places. Find that control here and change the checkpoint, parameterize the checkpoint as well. Two places. All right, let's give it a shot here. So see how far you go. Okay.
Ashil, for the dealer search, I did that one, but it's showing some error.
Yeah, work through this one.
Okay.
I would suggest, yep. Leave the other one for homework. Okay.
Okay.
I want you to get through at least one parameter. So the keyword view flipping back and forth, right? From this view to other view is a keyword view. You can come back and this is where you can parameterize. Okay, so just get familiar with those two things.
Harshal, I have created a new test case, but new test, but
Okay.
it's not It's still not showing me pass or fail.
Okay, go ahead and share your screen. Rangi.
Yeah.
Can you show me your script first? Okay, can you go over to the repository, see what you guys have? I think you can expand that bar you see in the middle. No, in the bottom bar. On the right. Yep. You can hold your mouse on the bar. Okay, I might ask you for remote control. Okay. Somehow I'm not able to control that. Let me see. Click on the checkpoint dollar symbol, and scroll bar left. Yep, there you go. Yeah. Okay, 30 and those things. Okay, your checkpoint is inserted correctly, seems like. Okay, you can close out. Web edits 1000, calculate checkpoint, close all tabs. G training and training. And when you run it, it doesn't give you. Link, calculate, checkpoint. Okay. Can you run one more time? Let me see what it does. It seems like it's not executing your checkpoint at all. Yeah, it didn't give you result. That's strange. What could be wrong? Current run done. 0 pass, 0 failed. 1226. So yep, it is current run. Were you able to get the result earlier for other tests? Or is just this one?
No, I was not able to. For checkpoint, I was not able to.
Okay. Sounds like something is on your machine that's preventing it. Kind of like we had one issue here, different one. Just for the checkpoint only looks like this one. At least you are able to execute and see. Yeah, but otherwise it should show you the right result. Can you scroll down, scroll on the left to the particular checkpoint step? See what it captured. Yep, page 2. Yeah, click on the checkpoint. Yeah, it says expected value unchanged. I mean, everything is captured correctly. It's just not comparing it somehow for your machine. So it's recording it fine. Yeah, I'm not sure, Parag. I need to research and see why that could be on your machine.
Okay.
But everything recorded, it seems fine to me. I mean, there shouldn't be anything here. But let me research it. Maybe I can tell you on Thursday. But it looks like your steps are being captured and checkpoint is there. So change. Yeah. Okay. Paurangi, work through the other one. Meanwhile.
Okay. Mhm.
Yep. Okay. Is anybody having the same trouble? Okay, let me show you one more time. And let's see if you guys can get it. So you guys all know how to create a new test, right? So that's what I'm doing.
Herschel, can you do presentation mode?
Yep. Yeah, this thing requires a lot more practice. Okay, when you talk about the tools like this, sometimes it just takes a whole day to figure things out or more, depending on how fast you can pick up the technology side of things. Unfortunately, there are no documented steps. You're not going to find it anywhere. How to create a test case and specifically to our stuff. And the best thing I will do is put up the video, follow the steps. You pause the video and work through that basically at home as well. Okay. Okay, so I'm on the new test, working through that, right? Now, we all know the first record run setting is good. So I'm going to start capturing steps right now. Okay. So this one will pop up, click OK. And what I'll do is I'll record HP, which is another super user. And at this point, I'm going to use standard checkpoint. And I'm going to click on admin homepage. Okay. So it will pop up link admin homepage. And let's say we get rid of all other properties except inner text admin homepage. That's the only one I'm verifying. And so forth. Now you see here parameter. You have option for parameterizing right here. Okay. You can do that as well at the same time while you're recording. If I do that, that means I need to go and create a column named admin homepage inner text. And it's a global sheet. It will automatically create that during the record time. Let me go and do that. So we have to do one last step at the end. So it's a parameter selection. And only one item parameterizes inner text. This one. Okay. So click OK. And close your browser window. It shows here normal checkpoint, but if I go in the resource, and I can see here, it is parameterized. This one, right? And the value is already here. Now all you need to do is parameterize this one and this one. These two values, right? So before I do that, I will change it to set, because I want to supply clear text, first of all. And then I'm going to save it. Now, in order to parameterize this, I'm going to change the view to keyword view. Okay. So in the keyword view, I can do it easily. So I am going to click on this value and click on these three dots. So it will pop up this box and click on parameter. Okay. And you have to supply the name. If you don't supply, it will put it here with this p text. Again, it needs to be meaningful name. So I'm going to change it to username because it is username. And it says global sheet. It's all good. So my value is stored here now. I'm going to repeat the process for password. Parameter, password. Okay, so I have admin homepage. That's a verification step. This is username and password that I'm supplying. And so it's all good at this point. So I'm going to flip back to other view. Okay. So I can see, okay, data table is parameterized. This one is parameterized. And this one I already know, which I parameterized during record time. Going to save it. Let me go back here one more time. Object repository. So I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. And I know I missed here because there is additional property I need to check. So I'm going to find the admin home. And it's hard coded here, this text, admin homepage. Okay. And so if I parameterize here with the lender homepage and all those things, this value is always static right now. So it will fail my test case. So I need to parameterize this value along with the checkpoint value. So 2 places you have to do it. Okay. So this one, again, I will click on this configure the value and say parameter. And I can point to the same admin homepage inner text because they both are same technical. Okay. So it will point to this column, which is already highlighted, and do it. So again, I have 3 values only. Okay. So now I can say lender homepage, L training, and let me just go with the dealer homepage, G training, and training. I'm going to save it, and let's see if it works. So now I'm going to execute. Okay, so first one looks like good. Second one, okay, login failed. All right. So let's see what value is applied. So I'm going to stop it. Oh, training, TRAI. No, seems right. Oh, double I. Yeah, okay. So I have a typo. Okay, so second one seems good. Okay, third one I have something else. So I'll see what's wrong with it. And I will time out in 10-15 seconds. Okay, so first 2 pass, third one fails. Let me see why it failed. Description, admin homepage. Okay. All right, so let's see. DEALER. Okay. So I've made a typo in dealer homepage. No, admin homepage. Dealer, DEALER. Should be good. Let me verify it here. Dealer homepage, yep. Okay. I'm going to run it and see what happens. Otherwise, we'll figure it out. Maybe there is some space or something somewhere. It tries to verify. Nope, this time it looks good. So all 3 passed at this point.
Also, what else is running on your machine that might be slowing down?
Yeah, verification as well. Yep. So here I can see these 3 values were supplied, and it basically identify everything properly.
So whenever we are running the test, we run all the tests again, even though it was passed earlier.
Yeah. Every time it's a brand new test, brand new run.
Okay.
Yep. When you are running, it's not going to stop at number 1 if it only failed or something. No, there is no storage. There is no checkpoint. It doesn't store what point you stopped earlier. Yes.
Vishal, can you open the keyboard view again? I have a question. I just want to see one more thing.
Keyword view. Okay.
Yeah. So, like, where can I change the admin homepage content? Like, in the value we have column to change the username and password.
Yeah, you cannot change it here.
No, not here. Not here. Before change, like earlier it was static. Now we have changed it to.
Yeah, so you have to change it in the resources. So you can change the checkpoint configuration here. Let me flip to the other view. Okay, you have to go to the resource and object repository. This is where you come to the checkpoint and you can change it here. So you click on it and change, instead of constant, you can change it to parameter. And you can give a different name or just leave it there. And that's it. So that's the one place. In second place, it will be is a part of the name text property, description text. We change it over there, pointed to the same column because they both are same, name and checkpoint value. But that's something you have to do it in the repository, not in the keyword view.
Earlier we did in the keyword view, like when it was a program only for one.
Yeah, in the keyword view, what we did was, where
I'm not able to find the admin thing here, like where.
Here,
Okay.
this is where you click the checkpoint,
Okay.
right? This is where you can change it. This is the same dialog box that we had it during the record time.
So here in this time we created only 3 columns. Earlier you created 4 columns.
Yeah, because we had 2 different properties we were verifying.
Okay.
We were verifying this one as well as text. But we said it's both, since both are same, we'll just verify only one property.
Okay.
Yep. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So I'll give you guys 10 more minutes to work through this one. Otherwise, I'll put out the recording, make sure you get it done at home. At least spend an effort, okay? Because this is most common scenario for you guys. And you will run into for load calculator as well. That would be part of your homework. So you have to do that regardless for the load calculator. Let me talk about before you guys actually, I'll give you guys this as a homework. Okay, this one. Let me talk about the project, okay? Because that's kind of important as well from our standpoint. I'm hoping you guys are spending time on the project work. Anybody at least read through document? None of you? All right. You started? Okay, so I was hoping you guys at least went through once today. It's going to be very difficult otherwise, okay? The project, I don't know what you can contribute on the project. If you don't read it, I mean, we're not going to teach like this what we went through our flow. So, but as I said, I mean, you guys, it's your project, you have to put in effort. If you put in effort, that's great. If you don't, it's up to you. Then we have to spend some time on Thursday. Okay, but make sure you at least come back with a question for clarification. You watch the video as well at home. You got tomorrow, right? That's the whole reason we said tomorrow then we will skip the class and put it out, stretch out the session so that you get enough time. So Thursday, be prepared to discuss the project. I'll see if we can basically maybe do like a few more minutes here there on Thursday. All right. Then I think we can wrap up today if you guys don't have anything else. This one would be your homework then. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Yep. Same timing. So just follow the timing. You have the links, right? Yeah. So you should be good.
Keyword.
Keyword view. It's the view. Keyword view.
Okay, if I want to take it back to the normal view.
That's the editor.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. Anybody online has any question? You guys heard what we discussed about the project?
Yes.
Okay, hopefully you guys are putting effort as well, okay?
Yes.
For the project. because the project is for you guys. You can write it on the resume as well if you really work on that project. And we'll vouch for it if you did the work on the project. Okay. All right, then I think we will stop here then. Okay. And I'll send out the homework. Make sure you finish it up at home. And I'll load the video maybe tonight so that you can continue working on it. Okay.
Should I restart this? Just leave it.
Just leave it there. Should be okay.
And I should try download even SQL.
Yeah, you need to install the SQL, follow that. I put out a video for that as well, and you have the link, so you can follow through if you need it. You can skip through the certain portion of the video. Just go to the SQL site. Should be good. Okay, then, guys, we are wrapping up here.
Harshal, I have a with the dynamic thing. So when I'm trying to change the values, so I'm having some trouble with this one. Can you help me to?
Can you share your screen? Let me see what you are. These two are good. Now go to the checkpoint. You're trying to do it.
But if I want to change the value here itself, I'm not able to.
The data. So data section. So click on the data at the bottom. You see the data? All the way bottom. Bottom of the page.
Okay.
Where is your data? I don't. Okay, there you go. See, go to the global. Okay, so you see the values there?
Yes, but if I want to change the admin homepage thing, where is that? I'm not able to find it.
Expand the page. You have page tab. No. You have page right below the login. You can expand that right below the login. Expand it. No, twisty. Use the twisty. You see the arrow, triangle one, Dimple, right besides it. Yeah, click on the triangle.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
So, got it? And now you can click on the actual value of the checkpoint. Can you click on the actual checkpoint value column? Go right. Yep, click on there. No, click. Not the right click, just click. Yep, you see this. Yep.
Yes.
Click on
I will try this later. I can do that.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. And the dealer one, I already did that. So there was an error. So we will discuss that in the Thursday lab.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
All right. See you guys. Make sure you prepare for the project as well. Okay, don't forget.
And you can have the certification.